Congress is heading home for the holidays without a health care deal in place, leaving millions of Americans facing higher premiums and more uncertainty heading into the new year. Here to discuss this and so much more is our Washington insider, Armstrong Williams. Now, Armstrong, you know, Congress has essentially planted the ball on this over this fight over health care into January. Even as we all know, costs are going to go up for so many Americans here. What do you consider this? Legislative gridlock, deliberate political strategy from either side? What is your read?
You know, Angela, I think sometimes we forget that the ACA only impact 7% of Americans in this country. And I think what Speaker Johnson is trying to deliver through a very difficult process is that he wants health care for everyone to be affordable. I think this is why President Trump is meeting with the top insurance executives today, because we know they're fraudulent. We know they fleece people out of their money they pay into the system, and then when it comes times for the insurance companies to deliver, they abandon them and find all excuses not to pay them. So I think there's a lot that's going on here, but the bottom line is the ACA expired. Even if we extended it to the millions of Americans, it doesn't solve the health care crisis that all Americans face today.
Well, what do you think of some Republicans in some ways kind of breaking ranks with Speaker Johnson on this and the vote, even joining with Democrats for the votes? He tried to does it say anything about his grip on the gravel? Is that in jeopardy, or is this just kind of like the reality when you have this raise?
Well, Angela, he made some very devastating miscalculations this year. Congress recessing for 2 months, giving Democrats the edge on dominating the agenda and setting the narrative for health care and all these other issues, not fighting for legislative issues to make sure that the things that they're fighting for gets the attention and gets passed, rallying the troops. And so Speaker Johnson's issues has more to do with leadership, and sometimes they perceive him as not being strong enough and not being respectful enough to coalesce people together. So what is happening now is because there's chinks in his armor. People are abandoning him, and they're doing it publicly. They're not trying to do it in privacy anymore. He has a leadership crisis.
You know, the one thing that was big over the weekend, Turning Point USA held their annual America Fest conference this weekend in Phoenix. The first since, of course, the assassination of founder Charlie Kirk. His widow, Erica Kirk, has taken up the leadership, as we all know, since her husband's death, and has been in the news this week following a meeting between her and host Candace Owens, which has become a whole big thing here. What do you think in terms of the meeting, what came out of it, and this whole situation with these theories regarding her husband's death?
You know, I think Mrs. Kirk is trying to find her voice. She did not ask for this. She was thrust into this position. And when you invite at a conference this weekend, Nick Fontes and Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, and Ben Shapiro, who started out with them backstage condemning their racism and their bigotry. That's not the direction you want for Turning Point USA or for conservatives in this country. So there's a battle for the soul of Turning Point USA. Whom and what will they become? And I think while Candace Owens in her mind may want to believe that she should have a role at Turning Point USA, because in her mind it was something that she and Charlie finally together. I mean, when you run around talking about that the First Lady of France is a man, and you're facing a lawsuit from the president of France himself, I mean, you ask about what are you thinking? I mean, you want to be taken seriously. You know, I have a lot of respect for Candace Owens, what she's been able to do, but I mean, you cannot get in this fringe space and where people are not taking you serious. So Erica Kirk has a lot to contend with right now. And Turning Point USA, Angela's trying to find their identity.
I just want to real quick get your thoughts on the whole Kennedy Center thing and renaming it.
Outrageous. You know, all the good that the president does. I mean, he seems he won a Nobel Peace Prize. I don't know why the president feels he's so insecure. And no matter what he does fulfills him, he becomes even more emptier. I think the president in his own way has his own spiritual crisis. He needs to find something that gives more deeper meaning to his life. To me, he's one of the most successful people on the planet. Because God has blessed him, but it's just not enough. His soul remains restless.
Thank you so much. Washington insider Armstrong Williams, Merry Christmas to you.
Same to you. Thank you.